This video is sponsored by Serato. Hello YouTube, it's Accurate again, back with another video from the home studio. So it's time to make music, time to make another beat, and I'm using Serato Studio for this one today, so let's go.
Accurate beats.
Okay, so Serato Studio is a beat making software for Mac or PC. It's not really a fully fledged DAW because you can't record audio straight into it, but it can do pretty much everything else. So let's get it going and see how this goes. And by default I get this 808 drum kit loaded up. But I don't want to use that for this. Instead I'm gonna go through the different presets in the drum kits. It comes with some drum kits and some instruments and stuff right off the bat, and I've also downloaded some stuff from the Serato website. So I have some drum kits here from DiBiase. And I think I like this one. But I need to do something about that snare. Let's turn the release way down. Like that. But I want to replace that one. Pitch it down a bit. You know, normally I tend to start with my drums and I get a loop going and then I just add stuff to that, but in this case I want to do it the other way around and start with my sample. And I have one here that I think I'm going to be able to work with. And this view with the sample is very similar to what you see in the Serato sample software that I used a couple of weeks ago on the channel in Logic. So it has the sample all chopped up from the get-go, so I can just go on and play the keys. And I get different parts of the sample like that. But let's do this manually and just move them around a bit. Let's put this one right there. This one right there. This thing right here could be useful somehow. I really like that one, so let's use that chop as the first one of my loop and then do something like... you know, something like that. So let's set up my tempo here in the software to something like 89 for starters with the metronome and that could work. And one of the really powerful things about using Serato Studio for stuff like this is how it detects pitch and timing information. So in this case it says that my sample is in F-sharp major, so let's change that by just adjusting my entire project down to something like D major. So the timing and the tempo and everything about the sample stays the same, but I changed the pitch like that. Let's try to go the other way around and let's go from F sharp major to something like B major. I could also switch my major here to minor, and I think I want to do that. And let's take it down from B to something around like E. And in my sequencer here, let's go to 4 bars of this first scene and let's just try to record something. It's not in quantize mode, so yeah, let's go. So my next step will have to be the drums, so let's do that. Now let's add more to this. I want to do some more instrumentation here, so let's see if I can open up one of my plugins. Right there, and go to, I don't know, yeah, sure, the Analog Lab 4. Jazz Time, what's that? That's like a Rhodes piano, so cool. And in this case, I pretty much don't have to think at all about finding the root note of the sample and finding something that matches, because it says it right here. It's in E minor, and now my instrument is also in play in key mode, so everything I play here should kind of stay in key with the sample. And it might be a bit confusing at first because now my C key on the keyboard doesn't play a C, it plays an E because I'm in E minor. So it makes sense, but you know. So let's go up an octave and just try a few notes. That's nice. So let's change this Rhodes piano to something else. Yeah, sure. Let's see how it sounds down here. Yeah, let's record something like that into the sequencer. So let's turn it down and add reverb. I don't know, I think that's okay, so let's move on to a bass, and yeah, let's use Analog Lab 4 again, why not? No. Sure, let's turn down the volume. So let's record some bass here. So next up, let's use one of the instruments that comes with Serato Studio as it is. Let's go into the instruments and look for piano and keys. Maybe not. So let's just try the acoustic piano. Let's try something like... No. Yeah. I think that's cool, so I could go like this for something different. And before I take this any further, I want to make sure that I have my bass frequencies in check. So I'm going to go into the sample here, which has way too much bass going on, and just put an EQ here. I'm going to go for the high pass filter and then just take out a lot of bass, and I also want to sidechain the sample to my kick drum. So in that case, I can just go here into my effect slot and go to the sidechain, hit hard sidechain, and then just make sure that it corresponds to the kick, and it does. Let's crank it up and see how it sounds. I don't know, I think that's okay. We could go even heavier on the sidechain. Yeah, sure. And so far I've only worked with my first 4 bars. That's called the intro in the software, and I want to expand on that and make another version. So I'm going to duplicate this over to the next scene slot and just go into the sample and take that completely out of there. Sounds good, but kind of empty. So I want to do something different with the sample, and instead of starting with this one, I'm going to try to start with that slice instead. I think that works, so let's name this one scene 2 and this one scene 1. And now I think I want to add something else on the first scene here, because I hear that I could do something more with the piano. Let's copy it over here and let's go up a few octaves, go into the piano, and let's record a little melody here with the piano just because. And all of a sudden I have my first basic scene, and the same one with an extra piano, and I also have this scene 2, which is another version with the sample, so that's cool. Now maybe I could add something different. Let's try to duplicate this first one again and add like a synth. Let's take one from the internal instruments and go to, I don't know, that one. yeah, let's try that somehow. I'm not sure about that, but let's keep it and see if we can add some effects on it to make it better. Let's put a flanger on it, just like that, and crank it up. And also let's do a cruncher. Lo-fi crunch sounds about right. I don't know. Let's replace the flanger with a phaser. And also let's do an echo and take down the volume a lot. And I guess that's fine for just one of the scenes like that, just a little thing coming in and out. And now it's time to think about one of the cool things about the software, and that is arranging the track. So let's do that real quick, and let's just separate these. Let's make another version of scene 1 over here. And let's think about this one as my intro, and let's go in here to the drums on my first 2 bars and just clear it out. And on the second 2 bars, let's leave some of the stuff there, I think. Could be cool. Let's move into the pad sound and let's clear that completely. And the same goes for the bass and the piano. And we should have something like... yeah, like that. And the drums comes in before we actually start it up. That's cool. And with that in mind, let's go to the song view here, which is empty right now, and just put the intro at the beginning, which is reasonable. And then scene 1, scene 2, scene 1 with the extra piano, and let's do a variation of scene 2 as well. So again, let's go for the EQ down here and go for the low pass filter and make something like... yeah, I want something like that. So let's automate this knob by hitting this little robot head in the top right corner, and then this one, and this is my automation lane. So let's do something like this, randomly. Okay, let's go like that. And for my second 2 bars, let's go like so. And let's open it up at the end there. Let's see how that sounds. So let's name this one 2 plus filter and actually put this one here on the timeline. So what's really cool about having this song view accessible to me is that I'm now able to see my entire beat laid out in a linear fashion like this. The intro, scene 1, scene 2, and so on. Let's put another normal scene 1 here. Another one with the synth line that I'm not super happy about, but let's do it anyways. And let's also set up some sort of outro here. So let's take the intro, let's duplicate that over here, and go back into the drums on the 2 second bars here and just totally take those drums out. Make a new version of scene 1 over here, and in that case, totally take the sample out because that sounded kind of nice as well. 1, no sample, and let's take that one down there, have a listen. And then let's go to the outro and call it a day. Let's do one more adjustment here on the scene where I have my extra piano thing. I want to go into the drums and just take some notes out here at the end so it feels like it stops. Like that. So maybe the best thing about having this linear timeline visible to me is that I can now insert audio into another track on that linear timeline. So in my case, I have this sample here that I use sometimes for live purposes. It's kind of like a voice tag or whatever.
I go by the name of Accurate.
Okay, let's use that somehow, but let's take out some of these scratchy parts in the beginning. I wanted to start right there. Let's also move it right up until the next scene there.
I go by the name of Accurate.
That's totally fine. Let's also add something more here that acts kind of like a transition between my intro and the first part. Let's go for this swirl sound that I've used a couple of times before. Okay, so I need to move it right here and maybe having it start right there instead. Let's see how that sounds.
Accurate.
it adds something. And at the later time over here, I have this kind of yo sample that I want to use. Cool. And I can also bring in effects for this, so let's use one of the echoes that's built in. Okay, let's adjust it like that. That doesn't hurt. Now in this case, I'm just using this functionality to put in a few transition effects and, you know, some stuff to make the whole track sound a little bit more interesting and dynamic. But this could just as well be an entire a cappella synced up to the track, and just like that you have a remix of whatever you want inside of Serato Studio. That's really cool. Now let's get back to the normal view here, and we can actually play the track from start to finish. And I could also go back to my different scenes and take some stuff out and add some more stuff and arrange further and just work. But in this case, I think I'm pretty much done with this. Now, what I find a little bit funny here is that I would totally recommend Serato Studio to someone who is new to beatmaking and doesn't know too much about music theory. This whole detection of pitch and timing information works really great for someone like that. But on the other hand, for someone who does know a thing or two about music theory and stuff like that, and still wants to find a new tool to make beats with, I think Serato Studio is a really good option for someone like that as well. For this entire section, I didn't even turn this play in key functionality off, and there's no shame in that. That just helps me a little bit to find the root notes and find whatever fits nicely together. It comes with some really nice sounding drum kits and also some instruments for a beginner who just wants to use that, but it also works with any like plugin in AU or VST format that I've tried so far. So if you have that sort of stuff that you want to use for this, that's definitely an option. So it's good for both the amateur and the pro level producer. And I gotta say that the song view is really nice and handy to have at hand, and it's nice to be able to put your scenes into a linear time frame like that and actually get some kind of perspective on what you're working on, and also add stuff to it like that. Unfortunately, you can't expand your different scenes and see every single thing that you've done in that song view, but at least it's something. And as I said in the beginning of the video, it's not a DAW, it's not Logic or Cubase or Ableton Live. It's a beatmaking software with a lot of nice functionality to it. I think the beat I made here came out kind of nicely, even though it became a little bit more laid back and mellow than I first expected, but you know, sometimes things just happen. So let's listen to the track. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, ha det gott!
I go by the name of Accurate.
Accurate. Accurate.
Accurate.
Accurate.
Accurate. Accurate. Accurate.